Surely Visma, Lisa Bike, Wooden, Dwarsdorf, Lander and Nielsen, Paulus, Ian Stannard omlope themselves again. This was Paris-Roubaix Femmes. We had Javier Wallez, first time ever in the race. It's actually at the start of the race, pretty much pre-coverage. But we do have, with about 58 Ks to go, the first side of the peloton on Orshi. It's still a pretty large group with all the main favourites. Backstedt had a mech before, a few crashes. Shabby's behind, so one of the key FDJ Suez riders, winner of Strade Bianche, is behind. Lee Canoyan's also with her, so both of these two riders coming back in this group will play a key role in the next phase of the race, so them coming back is important. But yeah, it was a reduced peloton, but not completely removed of some favourites. The race didn't look like it had been opened up pre-coverage. On Orchy-les-Orchy à Bercy, Danique Hengeveld is pacing. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot's looking pretty cool, calm and collected. Franziska Koch's always in 5th position. And Elise Shabby, she attacks just after she'd come back. And we don't see on the sectors. We see between the sectors, into the sectors, SD works with Wiebers in very good position in Kopecky. But we don't see them making a big statement on the sectors themselves. They're very quickly subsumed by the yellow jerseys of Visma now with Neumann, who's just come back pacing, and particularly with Franziska Koch, who was the strongest rider in the race today. She starts smashing on Mons-en-Pervel, the first 5-star sector. And then, like I showed you in the men's race, this tarmac kicker out of Mons-en-Pervel is where you can make a move go. And Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, she won on a tarmac kicker when she went solo last year. She whacks it. Vash in the wheel, Vos in her wheel, and Koch is the last rider to just make it across. Kopecky and SD Works caught napping, Trek not able to come across, and UAE not maybe good enough on the tarmac uphill section to follow PFP, and she's going full. She nearly crashes in that corner. She doesn't look for anyone to pull for a couple of Ks. She rips the gap to 20 seconds, but then when the others, like Vash is not pulling. Why would she pull when she's got Kopecky and Wiebers behind? But then if you don't pull and Vos rolls through, PFP can just drop the wheel. She's on the radio saying you got a gap, keep it going. Koch is wise to that. She closes it. SD Works put one rider to chase. Backstedt's isolated. And the group behind, frankly, just didn't look like they were that motivated to bring this group back. I mean, they got Vash ahead. Vos and PFP start talking. And all they had to do was ask. PFP says to Koch here, will you pull? And Koch says, of course I'll pull. I mean, I've only got Shabby behind. I don't know actually what she said, but I'm assuming she's like, yeah, I'll pull. Because why wouldn't she? Yes, you're outnumbered by Visma, but it's still better than being with Kopecky and Wiebers in this group behind. You never know what can happen. So it goes to 1 minute. Kopecky race over for that group. Vash even starts pulling. And then on the next couple of sectors that come thick and fast, we see Vash put under pressure. Koch attacks, Vos follows, and then PFP drops the wheel. She makes it Blanca Vash problem through this corner to close. She can't do it. And then that's a Bostic sign. I swear I used that as like glue when I was a kid in primary school, to like stick stuff together. Not an ad. Koch, she's now in a tricky situation, because PFP's just dropped Vash. She now has 2 Visma riders to her 1. She can keep pacing, but she's got Vos in the wheel who's quicker in a sprint on paper. If she lets PFP come back, she would think PFP and Vos will roll attacks on her in the tarmac. That never really happens. Koch basically gets to wait for the cobble sectors. She attacks and puts PFP under pressure on the cobble sectors. Canfin-Pavel, Carrefour de l'Arbre, the last 5-star sector. She does the same. PFP's dropping. And then Vos actually attacks on the cobbles, which is really, when you got the numerical advantage, you want to attack where the draft benefit is highest. And that's the tarmac, actually. Especially when Koch is stronger than PFP at this moment, because PFP's invested. I mean, she created this gap. She's doing all the pulling. And it quickly becomes really clear that they want Vos to win the sprint. They're not going to roll attacks on Koch, but then she doesn't seem to know that, because she attacks on the tarmac with Vos in the wheel with 4.5 Ks to go. It was surprising, because now she's putting herself back in the situation where she has to pull with Vos in the wheel, or in theory, PFP can come back. And you see, Koch is paranoid that PFP is going to come back and roll attacks on her, but it just doesn't happen. And that's because it was kind of like, with Visma just going for Wout van Aert and the Dwarsdorf Ladder and sprint last year, The plan was evidently to go for Marianne Vos in the sprint. She recently lost her father. She helped PFP win Roubaix last year, but as we get to the velodrome, looks like Koch knows what she's doing. She's using the banking. She's playing it coy. The speed then drops from PFP, and Vos gets to sprint all wrong. That's why if you don't have to go to a sprint, never go to a sprint, because anything can happen in a sprint. It's a pretty random event. Yes, the strongest rider probably wins. Koch was the strongest rider today when you factor in how isolated she was, and she pulls off the huge upset. Here's how it happened. I initially thought PFP was blocking Vos ducking the inside. Vos has already decided here to jump right, which is a mistake. She either should have drafted, especially with the slightly lower speed for the women and it wasn't a high-speed lead-out. There's more time for her to come round on the straight out of the bend, or she should have jumped and ducked on the inside of Koch left. But by jumping right, she's stuck on the outside the long way around here. Koch keeps her out there and then gets the better run through the bend. And yes, I mean, Vos doesn't do the best bike throw ever. With a good bike throw, it would have been a lot closer. I mean, we're talking a wheel. That's the difference between picking the right side or just drafting Koch initially when you trigger her to jump and then trying to come around on the straight with a better snap, but probably ducking the inside to get the inside around the bend was the play. Koch wins, huge win for her, signing of the year in women's cycling. Ahead of Vos, Ferrand-Prévot third, then Kopecky, Yastrab, Wiebes, Cole, Gillespie, Sierra, and Brand. Here's what the German had to say.
It's just like a war, basically going into the cobble sections, and we were fully committed to invest earlier already in the race. I managed to stay out of the trouble, always be in top 10 on the cobble section, and after Monceau Pavé, we knew we want to make the race hard, so. And then I ended up in the perfect move, I would say.
But you had two Visma riders with you, and Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, Marianne Vos. You had to beat them. That in itself is also an exploit.
Having two riders of the same team is, on the one hand, a challenge. On the other hand, also a benefit a little bit because, the work is not necessarily on you. I tried to get rid of them a little bit. In the end, I had to gamble for the sprint and it worked out.
Talk us through that sprint. You were on the outside with Marianne Vos. You immediately knew you had won, or did you have a few doubts?
I knew it when I threw my bike. I could have feeling coming after at the end of the corner, and I was a bit shit because she gets more downhill than me. But I just thought no, I'm not so close now. I have to win. There was no option, and then I could feel her coming, but I just could speed up a little bit more in the end.
But I hope you enjoyed the video. That concludes the cobbles this year. I thought it was a pretty good cobble season. We've got the Ardennes coming up shortly, and I'll have the recaps of Flèche and Liège for you then. Ciao, ciao.